Hey everybody. So I'm sorry I couldn't be with you today, but hopefully this tutorial will help out and move your projects along. If you have any questions, please email me. And also, if you'd like to schedule a time to meet before Monday's class, I'll be in early on Monday, so we could possibly do that as well. What we're going to do today is to talk a little bit about rendering out your project, so it's a finished QuickTime movie. And then we're going to open up a new file and we'll compose a few things together and talk about how we can assemble this all into one continuous reel. So once you have previewed your video and you're happy with its progress, um, then we can make this into a movie and set up the render queue. So to do this, all you need to do is go up to Composition, go down to Make Movie, and what will happen is down below you'll get a render queue to pop up. And this is the queue that allows you to set up some basic settings for your composition to render. First of all, we have render settings. You can click on this and you can check the resolution. The quality, we're going to have best. Resolution is full resolution. Size should be what your import size was from Cinema 4D. My project is 480 by 240. Your project will likely be 720 by 480. So just check to make sure that's all right. Everything else you can use pretty much the default settings. You just want to make sure that you're using 30 for your frame rate. And if that looks okay, hit good. Um, Output module, um, just click on this where it says lossless, and here's where we can find what the format is going to be. So we have QuickTime format, video output. We can change the settings here. If you click on format options, you can get the codec. My recommendation here is to stick with the animation codec. Um, Once we export this whole thing out as a reel, we can choose the H.264. For our purposes, animation is a good compression to use. Make sure the quality is set to 100. Click OK. So that looks fine. We're going to set that up. Output, this is an important one right here. When you click on this, it gives you the place that you're going to put your file. So choose a location that is appropriate. For my purpose, I'm just going to drop it onto the desktop, but choose a folder where you can keep all of your things together. I'm going to call this name logo um, test 1 and save, and we're ready to go. So once we have all these things all set up, all you need to do is go over here and click render, and this will render out your movie. Since this is a small movie, you can see that it's rendering, kind of following along in the composition palette, and it's slowly going to render your video out. Once it's finished its render cycle, it will save to whatever location you've assigned it, and you can go there and open it up and check it out. There we go. Okay, so our file has been saved, QuickTime movie has been rendered, we're all set to go. At this point, it would be a good idea to save your project. And to do this, what we want to do is make sure we save the project and all the footage and keep it in one folder together. So in order to do this, all we need to do is go to File, and let's go down to Collect Files. Click on this, and this is says as the project needs to be saved first. All right, hit save. It's going to compress everything together, and it's going to collect all the files that we needed from our project and collect those. So let's collect, and then it's going to ask us where we want to put it. I'm going to choose to put this in my movies folder, and it's going to create, my project's called name logo, so it's going to create a new folder for that. Just click on save. There we go, and it's going to locate everything. It's going to drop it in there and find those files. So if we go to our hard drive, I can show you here, go to movies, now you can see that I have my name logo folder. In here I have my After Effects file, and here I have footage, which are the movie file and the still. So this is what you want to carry around with you when you're transferring from computer to computer, so that you keep all of your footage and your After Effects file together so nothing is lost. If the footage is lost in translation and you try to open up the After Effects file, you won't be able to play with it anymore or manipulate it any further. So that's going to be really important to collect your files when you save the final footage that you're working on. All right, step 2. So we're creating our basic reel. What we're going to do is have our intro logo at the beginning, and then after that we're going to have some of those 360 model views that we've been working on. So for this, what I'd like you to do is just go ahead and open a new project, all right? And we're going to grab those files that we worked on. So we're going to import, I'm going to grab a few files here. One file is going to be the name logo that I just exported. I called it name logo test 1, I believe. Here it is. We're going to open up this one. Okay, and then we're also going to open up I'm going to open up one of the objects that I was working on. So I'm going to import the other one, which is Van Spin. I believe there it is, Van Spin. Okay, so here's 2 files that I want to work on. I'm just going to talk about composing these into a scene so we can start setting up our overall composition reel. So the first thing I'll do is I'll just grab my name logo. I'll make this a new composition by dragging it onto the composition icon. I'm also going to, since this is 10 seconds, I can see it up here in my palette. So I have 10.1 seconds, and we have the Van Spin that's essentially 3 seconds. I'm going to make my composition a little bit longer so I can fit those 2 things together. So under composition settings, I'm just going to, and down to duration, I'm going to make this, let's say 16 seconds overall instead of 10. And that's going to give me enough room to do some fade in and out and have some transitions happen. Okay, so now I have a little bit of extra space here in my timeline. I'm also going to grab my Van Spin movie. I'm going to drag this down below into the palette to create a new layer there. And when you have those 2 together, you notice that if I try to render this out, since one is right on top of another, you won't be able to see it. So what we need to do is just drag that along in the timeline and move it exactly where we want it to be. Now if you want to, in the time navigator, you can just grab this thing and stretch it out so you can see the whole timeline together. And then what I'm going to do is just simply grab my van footage and put this over here. Maybe leave a little bit of space right there so I can see this. And now I can see moving from the fade out of my name logo into the Van Spin. And we want to have some nice transitions happen here. All right, so one way that we can do this is very simply is we can just sort of zoom in on this a little bit further. Let's move over into our logo. I've already set up the transition of this file to my name logo to fade to black. So what I'm going to do is just simply move this one over a little bit more, and I'm going to fade this in. Okay, and so in order to do this, it's pretty simple. The background, the default background is going to be black. If I'm in between these 2 files, it's going to be black, and you can see that when you go to your composition settings. You can make sure the background color. You could choose black, you could choose white, you could choose any color under the rainbow. Black is a good one because we can fade in and fade out pretty easily. Now in order to do a very simple fade in, all I'm going to do is just keyframe the opacity of this layer right here. So I'm going to choose an area that I want this to fade from, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more on my navigator so I can see very closely what I'm doing. Then I'm just going to simply open up that layer right here. So under my Van Spin, actually I'm also going to make this a new color just so I can tell them apart. And we're ready to go. So let's locate the opacity under transform right here. We're running out of time. I'm going to stop this one and I'll pick it up in the next one.